Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Semi-Informed Football Podcast. Coming back to this episode, we're going to be talking about the Club World Cup, and we're going to start off with the final, which was a great game that happened today. We're going to go into what we thought about the whole tournament and just kind of really just taking a look at our highlights and surprises. All right, on the podcast today with Mark. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good, Marko. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. And Matteo. Matteo, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
All right, perfect. So we're going to talk about the game as it is, still fresh in our minds, just happened today. We had Chelsea triumph over PSG. Now, I'm going to lead in with this where I think I talked to so many people this weekend, last few days, everybody's saying that PSG was just going to smash Chelsea. And I told them, wait, it's not going to be that easy because kind of like the movie Any Given Sunday, I was, I think, the lone person. And I'm not going to take credit for this because it didn't go the right way anyway. I was a lone person out of everybody I really talked to that said, you know what, I can see Chelsea squeaking through. But I thought it was going to be at the result of like a pen or something like that, and that was going to be, oh, this is how we went. But the final 3-0 Chelsea, little bit of a drubbing where PSG was drubbing other teams. Guys, what do you think about that? Mark, I'm going to start off with you.
Well, let's just call it for what it is. Matteo's always said that finals are a one-game thing. So right there, anyone can win. Chelsea played better. Okay. Chelsea played well. I thought Sanchez there in net, really solid saves. Donnarumma, I thought this guy, I don't like Donnarumma. Okay. He was great in PSG's run this year. I'll give him credit for that. But then he was back to the same Donnarumma errors. Okay. The third goal, let me just start with that third goal. For a guy who's 6'5", he really made himself 3'2".
Yeah.
Because he goes down. And Joao Pedro only had to chip at 3'4" to get it over him. What's the point of being that tall if you're going to be doing that? So that was an error. Cole Palmer's first goal, it was great. It was a great crack. PSG had some defensive lapses. Before Cole Palmer got the ball, you got to be wondering, he's open. Why is nobody on him? It was a good shot. But you see his setup. You should know how he shoots, where he shoots, especially as a keeper. Do your homework. And he scored his second goal in a very similar style. And before that first goal, he did the same thing. Okay, he left foot curled. People thought it's the same thing. So I really
when I was watching that, I'm like, how did he score the exact same goal twice?
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I just watching? Was this a replay that just somehow jumped into the live game? Like it was unreal. He goes, he scored the same goal twice.
Because look, Salah does the same thing. He runs down the right, cuts to the middle, shoots to the left side. Coutinho used to do that. Go down the right, cut to the middle, shoot to the far right. So some players are really so predictable. I thought Donnarumma made mistakes, but the defense let him down too.
Yeah, I got that. And one thing I'm going to say about Cole Palmer though, can't stand that kid's haircut. I can't stand his celebration when he's shrugging like he's cold. Like it just grates on my nerves. Matteo, what are you thinking about Cole Palmer?
Well, not exactly his celebration, but obviously we know his quality.
Yeah.
I saw this stat actually. He is only the third Chelsea player out of the century or all time who scored multiple goals in a final. Alongside him, there was Drogba, did it twice, and Eden Hazard. Some big names alongside him, but we know how good he is already. I don't want to focus too much on that. I do want to go back to the whole PSG defense point. They were poor today.
Yes.
And I don't want to blame it on one player being gone, but this is a big role of William Pacho not playing in this final.
Yes, that's a good point.
They had to play Lucas Bergvall at center back alongside Marquinhos. And yeah, he's 21. He's the backup to Pacho, but it's a noticeable difference when he's not there because you lose that physicality, that pace, that overall presence that Pacho brings, and that whole, I guess, peace of mind and stability that you have when your full back line is there goes away when you're missing a key component of it. So that played a role for me clearly in some of the goals. In particular, the second Cole Palmer goal where they kept backing off and trying to block his shot rather than tackle him. But I don't want to blame it on one player being missing. PSG were well played today. They were.
Yes.
I thought middle of the park, they were dominated by Caicedo and Enzo, especially Caicedo, running all over, intercepting balls like it's no man's business. Individual displays as well. Cole Palmer, Robert Sanchez in net for Chelsea had some really good saves, as well as some lackluster performances from PSG. Out and out though, I don't want to say Enrique got outclassed by tactics, but I think Chelsea wanted it more. I think this was more their pinnacle to win for the whole season, whereas it'd be the cherry on top of PSG. There's more fight in the players, more hunger, more drive, more physicality. And I think at the end, when the game finished, PSG realized this and it all lashed out.
Yeah, I agree. I think that mindset wise, Marko, you started off by saying everyone thought it was going to be a blowout. I think in the minds of PSG players, they thought so too.
Yeah.
I think they came to the game thinking, what do you guys want to win? 4-0 or 6-0?
Yeah.
And, Chelsea, for their part, they didn't feel down. They came here, like Matteo said, hungrier and ready to win.
Absolutely.
No, I agree with that. Well, one thing I want to pop into, how about that first shot that Cole Palmer took, where it kind of hit the stanchion, and I swear to God, I had to watch that another 5-6 times, and I'm like, that's not in the net, and I think everybody thought the same thing. But that was an amazing strike as well, right? But if you see, and Mark, to your earlier point about Donnarumma, he was just caught flat-footed on that, right? Like he was just kind of watching that blast right by him, and I think just for me with Donnarumma, like I feel like he's got the height, he's got the reach, he's got the line, he can nail that, but I feel like he doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't command the box as well as other keepers,
Yeah.
right? And like he cheats with other things, right? So like I don't know, like is he as quality as Thibaut Courtois in his prime, right?
No,
I don't know, but if anything,
the answer is no. You know what Donnarumma's good at, and he did it. He's good at using his height, extending himself in a perfect straight line when he saves shots that are going to the top corners. And he did that on Liam Delap. Liam Delap had a cracker of a shot.
yeah, that was
I would have gone in.
yeah.
But Donnarumma did that. But if the shots are lower, this guy, I don't know. He does this weird jump and doesn't extend himself.
That's true. So I don't know. Did anybody have Chelsea on their list to kind of win this tournament? Maybe like what was 20 days ago or something like that.
And I don't think so. Except for Chelsea fans, that's it.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's true. But looking back at it, their path to the final wasn't that bad because they didn't have many giants. So it was a pretty easy way to get there. And yeah, in a one-off game, anything can happen. That being said, most of us did think PSG to win.
Everyone's saying that, but I don't think their path was exactly that clean cut. I thought Fluminense was a really good team, actually.
Yeah, of course.
They were, but they're outmatched. If it was Man City there, I think it'd be a different story. But regardless, I don't want to speculate.
Because look, we could say the other side of the bracket had Madrid. Do you think Madrid were really that good of a team?
You're asking me that.
I'm asking Marko.
The Barcelona fan.
Okay, fine, I get your point. But the other teams were there. PSG had to go through Bayern as well, where they almost got knocked out. There were a lot of tougher teams on one side of the bracket. But regardless, they got there in the end. And
look, I'm not going to make excuses for PSG. Maybe they've played harder, played tougher teams, played more games. Maybe the heat got to them. There's a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
I just don't, maybe the next thing we should talk about is PSG season because they had one of the best seasons of any team of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, well, let's save that for another podcast. Like again, I know it was a build this year. It really was a build. Okay, let's actually take a look at the whole tournament as a whole. Like going into the tournament, was there hype for it? Was there still confusion as to why we were having this tournament? Was it everything that you dreamed of? Matteo, I'm going to throw that one up to you first of all.
Well, I mentioned the start of the tournament when we first did a podcast. I think it'd be interesting to see how seriously teams took it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think most teams took it pretty seriously as a major trophy. We saw that with a lot of players bypassing or delaying surgeries or playing through injuries just to be here with full starting 11s. And in that sense, I thought it was a really competitive tournament and it was good entertainment. That being said, whether you're comparing preseason as opposed to this tournament, there's a lot of pros and cons and differences. No one would rather see a warm-up team or, going through the motions prior to the season. However, that gives you the chance to be so pristine and polished going into the first match day, where you won't see as many mistakes and errors as you could, as opposed to when you didn't. So what I'm trying to say here, I think some teams like Real, for example, perfect example, with Xabi Alonso, new starting 11,
Right.
they didn't have time to actually implement their style and play the way he wants to, which I wish he had the chance to make those changes. But because the tournament was so fast after the season, he had no chance to.
So do you think that was Madrid's fault? Because they opted to dismiss Ancelotti early to get Xabi Alonso.
See, that's a good question. There really is, because the reason why they fired Ancelotti in the first place is because, okay, start the new era, bring new tactics in, someone fresh. I get it. But if you're taking this tournament as seriously as you did, with the clear intention to win, why would you risk starting all over from ground zero with a new man, a new team, and new tactics right away?
Well, because I think they're obnoxious enough to think that that would work and they would win.
Absolutely. And it showed. It showed when they got outclassed 4-0 by PSG. They struggled through the group stages, and it was the wrong move.
Because I'll tell you right now, there's no way Florentino Perez did not want to win this tournament.
100% he did. 100%. Which is why guys like Bellingham had to push their surgery back to after this tournament and miss 4 months of the season upcoming just to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, with that said, I'm going to jump in here real quick. What was your game of the tournament? Mark, I'm going to give that to you.
I would say for me, the PSG Bayern game, I thought that was a really close game. I thought that was more of a final, just because I thought both teams were going end to end, and it was really tight. That's what I thought. I didn't feel like this was really a final. PSG they just looked lethargic and out of character.
Yeah, I guess at the end of a long season, and I don't know how many teams have played as many games as PSG. I got to give it to you on that game as well, because Musiala going down halfway through, which was awful. Like, if anybody ended up watching the video actually that stayed on that play and seeing his ankle kind of turn the wrong way, that was unreal. But you're right. I thought that was really, really that was a crazy match. And what I liked about that one is that I think we have a nice rivalry going. Like, not like PSG Bayern. Again, we had a Champions League back in, during COVID where Bayern beat PSG, but I feel like you know what? Let's see how the Champions League next year, because I think they're gonna have a rivalry.
And you know what? Bayern looked strong. They did.
Perfect. Matteo, your game of the tournament.
There's so many. A lot of good matches to think from. But you know what? I'm going a little bit rogue here. I'm probably going to say Al Hilal versus Man City. That's my pick, because everyone likes an upset story, but I thought it was so unexpected, and the way Al Hilal played, it was just really, really cool to see. No one would ever say a Saudi team would knock out Pep's brand new 11, but they did. Whether it was ugly or not, they managed a way, and that was really cool. For me,
It was entertaining for sure.
exactly, that's the whole thing. Yeah, I'm here as a neutral. My club's not here, so I want to see what happens, and that for me brought the most entertainment.
And I hate the both of you, because you actually did both pick my two favorite games of the tournament. Honestly, like, watching a lot of Bayern and seeing those players and just seeing the amazing season that Michael Olise had.
Yeah.
Seeing if Kane could win another trophy, right? Like, he had a pretty strong tournament too. But that was quite interesting. And you know what I've done, like I said, is that I'm not gonna kind of toot my own horn, but I've been watching PSG for about 2 years now, and I did see, the method of the madness after Mbappe left, right? And it wasn't just a team that was just destroyed with the passing of probably a player of the generation, but also with that Al Hilal Man City. I'm like, I don't know many people that actually called that to happen, and I was watching that one right to the end. That was a phenomenal match, and to see Ali Hilal pull that off, especially from a team that, billion dollar team. It was an unreal match, and you could tell how hard that they were playing for it and how much they wanted it as well.
All right, so Marco, let's go into letdowns. What let you down this tournament?
What let me down this tournament is that, you know what, I honestly, for me, I wish that and I don't know, I wish that some of the South American teams were a little bit went a little bit deeper in this tournament, right? Again, I don't get to see many of these teams, whether it's the Fluminense or Palmeiras or anything like that, but I almost wished like one of those teams was in the final, just to really show like a kind of like a big continental I don't know, a matchup. Like, and I know a lot of people thought it was going to be a European team versus a European team. That's what we ended up getting anyway. But you know what, I was kind of holding out for, and I really wanted to see that. And it was interesting because you're seeing players that may have played in Europe that are now settling in with another team. Sergio Ramos, right? But it's interesting. I wish that was a little bit deeper. How about you guys?
Wait, letdown tournament? I think maybe selection of the teams. Like I said, my team wasn't there. I want to see Barca play in them. But that's all I complain about, really. Everything else is fine.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. But like, I know everybody had that kind of sort of mystical. How is Inter Miami in this tournament?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, ironically, a lot of people said, "Why is Chelsea here?"
Yeah. I don't know the math behind it, but I think it had to do with Man City getting in not as a British as an England team, but
No,
as yeah.
it was the last 3 UEFA Champions League winners.
Yes. They all made it, so that didn't come as part of it. It was all math that nobody understood. So that's how it ended up being. One thing that I'm going to point out, and this is just a fleeting thought for me. I really appreciate Cristiano Ronaldo not turning this into a circus.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of rumors of him doing a very short contract with Monterrey, just to make it into the tournament, or even one of the beginning trade to Al Hilal,
All that.
just to make it in. And I'm like, it made no sense. And then Cristiano Ronaldo just I guess we're just re-signing with Al Nassr for 2 years. Like I'm glad he didn't make it a circus and make it all about Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, again, he even said earlier on, he goes, "No, I'm not coming to this tournament." And you know what? I almost kind of respect him for that one.
All right, for me, the letdowns. I think I was really let down by Boca Juniors and River Plate. I've heard of these 2 storied teams for years. And in the past, I know some of the players, they were very strong teams, but at this tournament, they were not. The Brazilian teams, I thought all 4 teams actually played sensational.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, really impressive. Fluminense, Botafogo, the current Copa Libertadores champions. Flamengo, okay, they played really well. And of course, Palmeiras played well too. But those Argentinian teams, I thought they would play better. I caught the River Plate Monterrey game. Guys, that was one of the most boring, unclinical games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so bad. So that's what really let me down.
Cool. Interesting. So again, was this worth the extra, like, kind of getting into I guess the preseason right now, where I guess some of these players really have zero vacation because they're going into preseason already. Was this a successful tournament?
I was successful. I think so. Was it beneficial to the teams? Different story. I think successful in the sense that it brought us all entertainment for the past month, seeing 3 games a day.
Yeah.
At times that worked for us in North America. Also beneficial in the teams in the sense that they got some money off this. Going to the semifinals, the quarterfinals. Real, for example, got 86 million for going to the semis, I believe. I don't know how much the winners got, but it's quite a bit, quite a hefty sum.
Yeah. So
every team.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
I think with all the wins, Chelsea's going to end up making 154 million.
Jeez. So all the teams here at least got some kind of compensation for it. Even the round of 16 got 30-ish million.
Yeah.
It's a big financial gain. That being said, you lose the opportunity for next season, which is massive for certain teams in Europe, the Giants. But to a team like Inter Miami or Pachuca, whatever it is, that helped them a lot.
Yes.
So positive, negative in certain senses. But again, as my view as a fan, I loved it. So definitely success, definitely.
One thing I'm gonna throw out there is the Donald's kind of giving out the championship trophy. For me, that was a little bit of a joke. But well, I want to kind of end on that note. But like, I think a lot of the complaints were about the crazy heat all this time of the year. Also about the lightning storms. We're delaying a lot of the games here too. But how does this bode well for the World Cup next year?
So the players have been really on that. I thought today it really showed players from both teams were cramping up. They were really cramping. I want to say at least 10 players in the game cramped up. And they had to get the subs in. So those kind of conditions really weigh on the players. These 3:00 start times in the American summer, it's not good. It's not. I can't imagine what it's like for the fans, for the coaching staff. You probably saw those big fans of ice water that they were blowing in their direction.
Yeah.
And even still, Maresca was a sweaty mess with all that ice water getting blown on him, right? So I can't imagine what it was like in the stands. Clearly, they do this just for the TV market in Europe and Asia.
Yeah.
I think they still got to push the games back later.
Yeah. You know what? When I heard about the complaints about the timing and then time shift and everything, I thought they were going to say about the 9:00 games that were going to happen in North America, because again, that's what 2:00 in the morning. I don't know what the actual time shift is there, but that's really rough for mainland Europe or the UK or anything like that. But I guess that wasn't
Are you talking about the 9 p.m. game?
the 9 p.m. games.
Yeah. But what if they do 9 a.m. games?
That's a little bit crazy. Imagine waking up to soccer, waking up to football.
Well, we did for Qatar.
Yeah.
3-4 a.m. we did for that, so who knows? But regardless, I think the heat's a major issue. But you're right, it's a trial run for the World Cup, which is what the whole purpose of it was. So we'll see what needs to be done, and they'll go from there.
I think when you're supporting your country, you do wake up for those games regardless, right?
But this isn't your country. This is a club. This is a different thing.
Yeah, it is. It is, right.
So will you do it? I probably would, but I don't know.
No, but I'm saying for the World Cup.
Absolutely.
Like,
We did.
times because people are going to wake up to watch their country.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Amazing. So I think we're going to be closing this off right now. So again, thank you so much, guys. This has been a really, really good conversation. I think we're going to jump into a next podcast. One of the upcoming ones was, I don't know. Like I'm stuck on WhatsApp following all these last transfers, because it doesn't stop. And then you're seeing like these transfers like Gyökeres not happening. It's happening. It's not happening. It's happening. So I think we're going to do an episode just on what the final transfers are, and everything. It just seems like a opportune time for that. So with that said, we're going to close things up right now. So thank you so much for listening. Again, recommend the show to friends and family that do love the amazing game of football. And until that next time, we're keeping you
semi-informed.